Hello, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Transformers Masterpiece Movie 3, Bumblebee, MPM-03, whatever you want to call him. And yes, this is the Takara version, which, well, quite frankly, there isn't a huge amount of difference between it and the Hasbro version, but still, just because, well, otherwise people ask which version is it. Which, well, you'll actually be able to tell from seeing the box, because the box here, you can see, has non-English on it. But yes, it is odd because what they did with these Masterpiece movie boxes is they kind of combined the American or the Hasbro and Takara versions of Masterpiece stuff. So you got the, black box with the silver outline, but you also got the big Transformers font on this side. But yeah, see 10 years since the movie, and Takara, Tomy, and Hasbro ages 8+. There on the top it says that Masterpiece again. There's a picture of Bumblebee on the side in both modes. Car mode right there. On the bottom is a whole bunch of, I'm guessing, warnings and stuff, including a Pac-Man and whatnot. And on the back you got, more stuff, shots of the car and the robot and some of the features of the toy in all English actually. And then more warnings and barcodes and whatnot on the bottom. That is the box, of course. And included with this is also the instruction manual. This one is, of course, again, Japanese, but it's actually pretty useful, in my opinion. Actually highlighted things pretty well. And also as a bonus, this is only the car version as far as I can tell. This thing. It's a pack metal, gold chrome with blue shield gun thing for apparently the Caliber Optimus that they just released, or the Age of Extinction Leader. And usually that version of the mold or the Japanese version, whatever, it's for that, but, well, I don't have it. I don't have plans of getting it, so that's useless for me. I don't know what I'll do with it. But anyway, yeah, this is the Bumblebee. This is the car mode, of course, the Camaro. I'm guessing somewhat of the concept Camaro, sort of, although it seems to be a weird fusion of the concept version and the retail version, or the retail version, but whatever. Yeah, it rolls pretty well, as you can see. Rolls really nicely. Of course, you can see the black stripes and whatnot. It's got a nice shady yellow. I'm not 100% certain it's movie accurate. It's hard to tell. The movie, I believe, had a more of a darker golden yellow versus this is closer to the final yellow they used in the actual car. It's got nice painted wheels, very dark gray, gunmetal even. Camaro badging, headlights, all that stuff. Even got a little Camaro badge here, although mine says some small paint issues. Because see on the C right there. You can see, yeah, it's not quite picked out properly. And of course, tail lights are picked out in paint, and it's got a license plate, and it's a California plate, 4NZZ454. Mine does have a couple little issues. One, as you can see, this is common with almost every yellow car. I'm not sure how well it comes across on camera, but the yellow here does not match the yellow here. It's two shades of yellow. Mine has its actual several paint flaws beyond that. You can see that very nasty little gouges right there. That is an actual problem. I don't know what to do about it. That's just someone just scratched right through it right there. Right here again, paint doesn't quite go up to the edge of the plastic, so there's a big weird gap there. That's not good. That doesn't come across on camera at all, but there's definitely there's a bit of something wrong with the paint there. I'm not sure what exactly, but there's definitely something wrong there. Some black spots right here on the hood. So yeah, those are the major paint flaws that mine had out of the box. Those are not things I caused, but yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the case, but not much you can really do about it. Oh, and the windows are picked out. They're clear. I mean, they're clear. You can see all the robot mush inside, and so yeah, it's a nice car mode for the most part. Mine just had some paint problems out of the box, unfortunately. But I don't think that's not universal. But some people are reporting on both the Takara and Hasbro versions, so be aware of that if you go out and pick it up. Yeah, it's a nice car mode, and I actually like this, design of the Camaro and everything. So it's a really good car mode. Mine just has a couple problems, which thankfully most of these problems disappear in the robot mode, which I guess we'll get to now. So, to transform it, first thing you want to do is actually flip under here, and this little piece right here, you gotta pull that off. It tabs right here via these tabs. You'll just go in the slot right there. It goes nice up. Yeah, fold that up right there, click it together, and put it off to the side because you'll need that later. But after you remove that, it's actually pretty simple. You want to split the door right here and also untab this part. It often will come out together. Do it on this side too. And you kind of just open the doors. It actually comes packaged more or less like that. So start off with that. From there, what I like to do is take the arms and unfold them a bit. Actually, you know what? Better idea would be coming back here and untabbing this center part, these side parts of the tail from the center. Untab those, and then that splits basically the whole car in half along this rail, which gives you a lot of room, so you can pull these arms out and also pull the parts of the fenders out as well. Yeah, so you want to pull these arms down and just kind of work them out like that. They actually there's little slots right here in the arms that go in these little tabs up here on the windshield right here. But yeah, there's little tabs there, and so you don't have to tab it, but it's kind of helpful. So you got that. You want to fold these back so they're kind of more or less perpendicular to the car. Just make sure that's, you know, stuff's not folded incorrectly, or else things are gonna go bad. You kind of want that, more or less. And the arms sometimes will go right back under. Don't want that. Another thing you want to do is also front bumper, split up, split them off, fold it forward. It'll kind of fold forward like that. You just get out of the way. You can start folding this stuff. Fold that under, fold under. You know, and I'll just get those out of the way for now. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of which way it's easiest to do. You actually want to untab that, the windshield more or less, and then fold the hood, the center of the hood around, fold it forward like that along the center, and kind of it'll click into place like that. There's the head and whatnot. Then with the windshield, what you want to do is windshield will come up and up over the roof like that, fold it back like that, and then you can fold this part under, and that will, you know, that's all squared away, and then you fold that underneath right here. You fold that under here, like so. Make sure it's nice and secure, and then you take this bar, there's a little slot here that goes into this on this tab, and don't worry about the bar touching the clear plastic. It won't do so. See, there's plenty of clearance. And then you fold this hole down. This folds down right here. Now will actually kind of lock in place, and then you fold the whole thing down as such. While you're there, you also want to take these panels right here, move them up, and there's a slot and a hole which go. I'm gonna move this up a bit. Hopefully all that's been on camera, but yeah, there's a slot and a hole which go up on a peg and a tab here. First few times you transform this, and you want to make sure to get the arms out of the way. First few times you transform this, there's a chance, for whatever reason, that this they do not want to quite reach up. You have to give it a lot of force, like uncomfortable amounts of force. And it doesn't seem to want to actually tab in. But after a couple transformations, it should start to cooperate better. I'm not sure why that's the case, but that is the case. And then do the same on this side. And you might still have to, again, give it more force than is comfortable. But you can do it. It is doable. It is absolutely doable. Just can be a bit of a pain. Again, make sure the arm's out of the way, or else it just doesn't work at all. Yeah, there. So that's one part you can do. And also, I forgot about this, but around the head there's these little tweedly things that you can just kind of pull out, and there's these little collar pieces. So those are definitely part of the robot mode you don't want to forget. And moving down to the bottom part of the robot. Back here, what you want to do, these little tail pieces, take them and untab them from the sides. Just get them out of the way. And also make sure to split the legs if they haven't already been split already. And take these parts, there's these little parts on the inside right here. You want to take those and move them down out of the way like that. Fold those forward. Do the same on this side. Fold the little yellow piece forward. Just get these out of the way. Just extend them all the way down. Then up here, you want to unfold this whole part. It's on an arm. And that lets you extend the leg out. Now the leg, there's this little tab right here. I'm not sure how well you can see that. It goes in a little slot right there on the yellow part. Then from there, take this wheel, you fold it down. May have to adjust the foot a little bit just to give yourself clearance. Then you pull that down. Then there's this piece right here. You move that down. It's easy to forget. It's actually not necessary, but just be aware of it. Fold that down, and then you take this piece. There's a little piece here. You fold that up, and there's a little slot for this tab to go in. Line it up properly. And that should lock it all in place, and you just need to adjust from there. So this should all be more or less even. That's one side done. Then you take this thing, fold it up, back up, and this little tab right here goes in this slot right here. Such. And then you take this rear piece and fold it up and collapse it in like that. You take this part up here on the hip and fold it forward like such. I'm gonna go ahead and raise this camera just a bit more. Then you have to do that whole process again on this leg. Open that up, extend the leg, tab it in, fold the wheel down, adjust the foot as necessary, move that down, move this up and tab it into the wheel, adjust the alignment of everything, move this panel, tab in the slot, move that up in there, then take this, move it forward and down like that. And you got the legs done. Now from there, it's only a little bit more to do. I swear. Only a little bit more. From there, you can take these parts of the window and fold them down. There's little tabs on the arms that can go in these slots. You should tab them as, all the way in. You can adjust the doors as you want, angle them up a little bit. Then down here, also these shoulder pads you can adjust as you want. Down here, you open this up. That's on a double hinge. You can fold out the hand. Take note, make sure when you fold it back up, make sure the thumb is facing outward on the door. That's how it needs to be for it to fold in proper. Then you can collapse that back in. There's a slot on the wrist. That's one arm. Do the same on this side. Fold the hand out. Then close it back up. And rotate that as much as you can. You can start opening the hands and whatnot. And you pretty much have Bumblebee in his robot mode. And yeah, it's actually a pretty nice robot mode. It's really actually pretty movie accurate, all things considered. I really enjoy this robot mode a lot, actually. It looks really close to the movie. Again, little liberties had to be taken, but them's the breaks. There's reality. They have to about this. Mine does have a small paint problem. It might be something I can deal with, but on this little thing, there's a little bit of black scuffing. You can see that. A little bit of black scuffing on the yellow, which shouldn't be there, but I think I can fix that. Hopefully I can fix that. Yeah, again, lots of yellow. The yellow and black from the car mode shows up throughout. You got more explosion. You know, you got the fake license plate because the real license plate is actually hidden way in the chest somewhere. But you know, got this fake license plate and it's all bent up, and you got more, I guess, this really dark gray, gunmetal gray, kind of showing up in this robot mode. And you got bits of die cast actually. There's down here in the feet mostly, the toes and these parts right here. Yeah, so these toes, the yellow part and this part right here are both die cast. I'm not sure if there's any other die cast in the figure. I don't believe so. Yeah, I think that's all the die cast, which is good. You know, keeps it nice and planted. And of course, that thing from earlier, this little thing. To use that, what you want to do is fold this hand back up. You got to open this back up. You know, make sure that hand is folded correctly. It has to be folded very specifically. And then fold it back up. And then you can take this part, because this part has to be open. You take this, make sure to line it up properly. There's a little slot and whatnot. It's hard to describe, but there is a slot for it. Slots over, and then the yellow part on the arm actually tabs into it to hold it into place. And you got his gun mode, or his gun little gun thing. There you go. And of course, to go with that, you have to go with his battle mask. And to do the battle mask, what you want to do is the little battle mask. You gotta open this up, this top part. It opens up. This mask is on a hinge, and it's really easy to accidentally pop it off in my experience. So just be careful with it. But it does go back on. But then you can pop that forward and then click that back down. He's got his battle mask on. So now he is ready for a fight. An interesting, yeah, but again, a really nice robot mode. Mine's nice and stable. I've heard reports of people having theirs have weak ankles or something, and no ratchets and whatnot. But mine is actually pretty solid. As once you get it all flat, you know, the feet nice and flat on the ground, is nice and solid. Posability though, so on the head, it can turn left and right. It's on two hinges, and you can also look up and down quite a bit. So be far up. Side to side, these collar pieces can get a little bit in the way. I've heard people breaking theirs because of how stiff it is. Mine's fine. It was a little stiff initially, but I was able to wiggle it out of place. It possibly might be a paint thing. Not sure, but you know, the head can move. Shoulders, forward and back, they're limited in the back because of the kibble, but they do move forward and back. They move outward on this little disc as well. There's this hinge right here. These don't go under, unfortunately, so they just kind of freely do that, but you do have quite a bit of motion there. Got a bicep swivel right above the elbow. And yeah, and the elbows can move forward about 90 degrees. They're supposed to be designed, apparently just displayed like this. That of course gives you gorilla arms, but you can easily fix that, no problem. He does have a bit of wrist movement, although that does unplug it from the side. Just know that. He does have also wrist swivels as well. And fingers. He has individually articulated fingers, although these two fingers are joined together. This one's separate. He's also got a thumb. They're all on hinges. So dual hinge, so one near the base, one at the knuckle. And then here, both of these are also both at the base and the knuckle as well. So quite a bit of articulation there. Just not a whole lot, but quite a bit. It's the same on this side as well, just this has the gun on it. Waist does move. Actually moves quite a bit. Nicely too. No ab crunch or anything, unfortunately, but nice waist, no real hindrance there. And here's the thing. The hips. Nice clicky ratchets, very clicky. Forward, back. You get quite a bit of motion there. Outward. Quite a bit of outward. It stops about there before things start banging into each other. And you got a thigh swivel right here, about mid-thigh. And then a knee. Got a knee, so it's just shy of 90 right there at that hinge. And again, it's ratchets. So that's a good one. Ankles, it can move forward and just a little bit and back a little bit. but side to side as well, about that far. And you got a toe joint, small toe joint, and it can also point down. And this heel thing can help a lot. So if you're trying to get a very specific pose, you can get very specific poses without too much trouble. So just trying to. So there you go. See, he's posable. He's quite posable. The only thing really missing from a modern masterpiece really is the ab crunch thing, and that's only shows up sometimes. So yeah, he's actually got a lot of posability as long as you're willing to be patient, especially with the heels and stuff. I mean, he has got a bit of a weird, I guess, design in such a sense, because it's bayformer, so you have to, be able to work with that. But once you do, you can get quite a few good poses out of him. Just gotta be, willing to work for them. There you go. So, the thing is, this is the car version. My understanding is there is very little difference between this and the Hasbro version, except, my understanding is the differences come out to the eyes, which I'll get to when I get the Battle Mask up, which does have light piping. I did forget to mention that, but, I'm not sure how well it's gonna come off, but, those eyes do have light piping. Just in my setup, you can't. You can see there's light piping. These are unpainted, clear, more or less clear plastic. The Hasbro version has some painted blue to help, I guess make them glow more on a blue color. There's that difference, and apparently the shade of yellow used on the car version might be a little more sparkly. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the Hasbro version in person, but that is my understanding. That is literally the only difference, and even that's only you can only see the paint difference up close, and the blue eyes are such a minor thing. Other than that, my understanding is they're almost identical, except for that one except for this thing coming with the car version only. That only comes with the car version. Hasbro doesn't have it. The boxes are almost the same, except again language. The figure itself those are the only differences. And apparently there might be my understanding is the paint is slightly different. There's a bit of a gradient on the Hasbro, which this is just pure silver. So other than that, though, my understanding is they are functionally identical, except for just some minor things. Even the whole QC thing. Some people are trying to claim Hasbro versions are have much more loose joints. My understanding, some people are also finding loose joints in the car versions. Again, my car version here had some paint problems, as you saw in the car mode. So it's just they both have the same usual QC things that just happen occasionally. There's not much you can do about it, except return it, hopefully, if you can. But this is, for something I bought from a Japanese store, it's a little more difficult. So, and they don't bother me enough to really get me to want to return it. So yeah, this is, roughly the size of all the MP cars, like Sideswipe and whatnot. So Sideswipe, Wheeljack, Tracks. So the car mode's roughly the same size. He's roughly the same height as them. He's about $80 either way. $80 before tax or shipping and all that stuff. He's about $80 in the car version or the Hasbro version. Doesn't really matter. They're both $80. The car version, of course, naturally, if you don't live in Japan, will cost you more to ship it to you. The Hasbro version in the US is Toys R Us exclusive. So there's that. It's just been popping up into the Toys R Us's recently. The car version sold out pretty quickly, although I'm seeing some places are starting to put up more orders, so might be able to get it easier to get that. But honestly, because the differences between the two are so minimal, it's really just easier. Probably just go ahead and go hunt it down at Toys R Us or go on Toys R Us online and get it, because mainly it's just been listed there. There really is no real appreciable difference between the two, so it's really not worth the extra money to get the Takar version. The only reason I got the Takar version was just because I put a pre-order in for it and forgot about it, and I had put a pre-order in for it just in case, and just in case it showed up, and then it showed up unexpectedly. It's like, oh, okay, sure. So, and then it's like, okay, it really doesn't matter that much. You're gonna possibly find the same QC problems between the two of them. So there's that. I'm hearing one of the big ones I'm hearing is some people's joints are not ratcheted. And that's one of the big ones I am hearing is some joints are not ratcheted for some reason. But yeah, it's another thing. And these wings can, door wings can actually fold it down like this if you want them to. But of course, it's supposed to be up. Heard some other things. I've heard people snapping the heads off because they're just super tight on there. Which that is a problem, but it's not really frequent enough. I think I've heard like 2, maybe 3 cases total. Again, it's a nice figure. It's just, if it depends on, I think a large chunk of it, if you're already in a Masterpiece, this is definitely a Masterpiece figure for sure. This is not like they cheaped out really too much. It looks really nice in both modes. If you have a good one that doesn't have paint issues, but they look really nice in both modes. Transformation is actually pretty fun. It's a lot easier, of course, doing it without a camera in front of you, but it's actually pretty fun. It's actually much simpler than I thought it would be. Yeah, it's overall a really solid purchase. I would say for $80, definitely worth it. Some places are selling it for more because they're buying it for Toys R Us and reselling. But $80 definitely worth it. If you can find it for $80 at Toys R Us, go for it. It's probably not worth importing the Takara version because that means like an extra $15, $20 in shipping fees and whatnot. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just generally a really good figure, and if you like the movie designs at all, or it's a good purchase. If you're someone who really just hates the movies or movie designs or whatever, this is not for you, obviously. This is not going to be something that's going to change your mind, unless, I don't know, maybe it is, but it's not likely to change your mind that, oh, I need to go get this because it's movie. It embraces the movie design through and through. So, again, good figure, got nice paint, black, the gunmetal, I mean, the silver, yellow, black. It's just really well picked out, especially on mine in the robot mode. The car mode, unfortunately, on mine has unfortunate paint issues. But it's nice. The dice cast in the feet are help keep it planted on the ground. So die cast used well, not just because it's die cast. I like it. I think it was worth it. Even the extra I paid just because I had to, get a ship from Japan here. It's still kind of worth it, barely, but $80 for sure. It should be actually pretty easy to get right now. Apparently, the Optimus Prime has become really difficult to get, especially the car version, which does have more significant. The differences between the car and Hasbro versions and the Optimus are much more significant. Although I'm hearing, of course, we've been seeing the horror stories about that one, but we'll get to that whenever I get that figure because I'm still haven't got one yet. I haven't been trying to find it, but this is solid. I recommend it if you're into Masterpiece stuff or into the movie stuff. This is like, I guess, the ultimate movie Bumblebee, as it should be. It's Masterpiece. Worth it. Just be aware that if you go pick it up and there's QC issues, you might be able to get a different one from Toys R Us or whatever. Just know that there are a couple QC issues, but though they seem to be so far mostly minor things that pop up here and there, like normal, almost every one of these toys. So yeah, that's enough of me rambling about this thing. I like it. It's a good Bumblebee. It's a good movie Bumblebee. And I hope you enjoyed. So I'll see you next time.